Alright, here's 8.5, day 2. Talked about this a little bit in class. I'm going to show you Kramer's rule. I was going to show you the definition. I'm not, because I think it's going to confuse you more than anything. But all I want you to see here with Kramer's rule is we've worked on using matrices to solve systems of equations. We've practiced a little bit with a 2-equation system with 2 variables. But we've seen in the past you can use elimination and substitution. The big case that we're working on is 3 equations with 3 variables. Okay. Earlier in section 1 I showed you 4 equations with 4, but I'd already told you that's an extra credit topic come test time. But we got to nail the 3 equation, 3 variables. Okay. And we use elementary row operations to do that, and it can be a little bit tricky. This is a way to solve those kinds of problems using determinants instead. Okay, now I want to show you the 2x2 case. I know you probably, well, I guess you might. I don't know. It's a little bit more of a manageable case, but I want you to see the whole process before we get into the 3x3, because it's a lot of steps. Okay, it's a lot of steps to do it, but it's a pretty simple procedure. Okay, you really just have to know how to do one thing. The very first thing that I need to find if I'm doing a two equation system is I got to find D. Okay, here's how it works. I just tell students to remember D. Think of it as delete the constants. You'll see this whole process revolves around the constants, which are 10 in the first equation and 11 in the second. Okay? Now doing that leaves me with a 2x2. And remember, we love determinants of 2x2s. Always have, always will. Right? 4 times negative 5 minus 3 times negative 2. Which would be what? Negative 20 plus 6, it would be negative 14. Okay? That number we use throughout the whole process. Because here's how things progress. To find x, we do the determinant of x over d. Okay? And here's how you should think of it. When this happens, the constants replace the variable that we're solving for. It's a little bit goofy. The constants replace the variable that we're solving for. Okay, I already know D. Okay, keep that in mind. We saw over here, D is negative 14. That's a done deal. Okay? Here's what the d sub x looks like. Normally I would put 4 and 3. Those are the coefficients for x. Instead, I go 10 and 11. The y's just stay the same. And I do my 2x2 determinant. Comes out to be what? Negative 50 plus 22, negative 28. X is negative 28. I already knew D was negative 14. Boom. X is 2. Okay? X is 2. Just going to separate my work here a little bit because all I have left now, and it follows the same pattern for y, d sub y over d, but don't forget, what's the value of d? Negative 14. We just have one more 2x2 that we have to do. But this time, the x's stay, and it's the y's that go. They are replaced by the constants. (44 minus 30 is 14. Looking like this solution for y is going to be -1, as d sub y is 14. We knew that d was -14 and y is -1. Okay? That is the idea. And you are going to see for the 3-equation, 3-variable case, it's the same. Okay? But one thing is going to go on here that's going to make it a little bit more work. And we'll show that to you on the next slide. All right, here it is. All right, we've got our lovely little system of 3 equations, 3 variables. Now you might have already put the pieces together here, but in the one before, we did 2 equations with 2 variables, and we were working with 2 by 2 determinants. 3 equations with 3 variables, we have to work with 3 by 3 determinants. Okay? So before we dive into this, a couple things. I want you to see that the process is the same, right? This whole ratio of these determinants, with like taking the constants out and then replacing that variable, it's very similar. Okay, basically exactly the same. The second thing, it is a long process, but it's relatively simple. You just end up basically doing the same thing over 3 times. And don't forget, if you get good at this, you could get away with not really knowing your row operations. Okay, it's good to know the row operations, but they can be tough. This could replace that. So let's dive into it here. D would be -1, 2, and -3. It's going to be a 3 by 3 determinant, but remember, I'm taking the constants out. Okay? So as is the case with any 3 by 3, I have 3 minors defined. Here's my first, from taking out row 1, column 1. There's my second, that would be 2 times 4 minus 3 times 1. I'll put the answers with them here in a minute. Right now I'm just kind of in a zone here, finding these minors. Just eating them up. 2 times -4 times 3 times 0. Alright, let's throw some number with these. 4 for the first, 5 for the second, though that one's going to change to -5 and -8. Okay? Let's seal the deal here and get D, which will be -1 times 4 plus 2 times -5 plus -3 times -8. And there we go. Okay? Remember that. We're going to need it. D is 10. Okay? D is 10. We're about 1/4 of the way through this. You're going to see, if I wanted to describe the amount of work, it's basically like we have 4 3 by 3 determinants we have to do. We just did one of them. Okay? We just did one of them. So now I'm going to do this one per slide. So this slide is going to be for our x variable. Okay? Now one thing you're going to see in our answer here that I haven't even brought up yet, why you really may want to know this method, our answers end up being fractions. Now we kind of stayed away from fractions for the most part with our row operations, but the row operations can get pretty nasty with fractions. Kramer's rule is much more manageable. Okay? So just like with the 2 by 2, That's what x is. Okay. Now I'm already going to fill in up here. D is 10. That's going to come back on all three variables. We know that. The rest of our work on this slide is we need d sub x. Okay, remember those are your constants. Those are going in for x. Leave the y's alone. Leave the z's alone. Okay, the constants, 1, 0, and 2, replace the x's. All right? And away we go, right? So we have a lot to do. We're going to have to do this 3 times over, once for each variable. But we're doing the same thing. We're doing a 3 by 3 determinant. Zero, 4 minus negative 4 times 1. 0 times 4 minus 2 times 1. How about 0 times negative 4 minus 2 times 0? That would leave us with 4, negative 2, though that'll switch to 2, and 0. One times 4, 2 times positive 2, plus negative 3 times 0, so that one's just kind of gone. We end up with basically 4 plus 4, right? And we get 8, which means an 8 goes there. Reduce that, and there you have it. X is 4/5. Okay, this actually ends up being a case where all 3 answers are fractions. We didn't have to deal with them until the very end for our final answer. We've got X. Before we got 2 more of these to do. The process is going to be the same. We take the constants and replace y, and then we do the same for z. So our y variable, again, will be d sub y over d. We already know d is 10. So the work for this part is d sub y. The constants, or excuse me, the coefficients for x, those come back. Now it's y that gets replaced. And the z's will stay there. Okay? And another, this is our third now, our third 3 by 3 determinant to do. Oops, I don't want to set that equal to anything yet. As of course, at this point it is time to crunch some numbers with our minors. 0 times 4 minus 2 times 1. 2 times 4 minus 3 times 1. 2 times 2 minus 3 times 0, which will leave us with negative 2, 5, and 4. All right, d sub y is negative 1 times negative 2 plus 1 times 5? No, negative 5. And negative 3 times 4. We have negative 2 minus 5, which would be negative 7. Excuse me, 2 minus 5, which would be negative 3, minus 12 more, which would be negative 15. That would reduce to negative 3 over 2, and there's y. Okay? Again, yes, I know this is getting to be a lot. I get it. Okay? Two things to keep focused on. This would replace your row operations if you get really good at this, and notice it's the same process 3 times over. Okay? It's not super efficient, but it's fairly simple. Right? If you know how to do a 3 by 3 determinant, you could do this all day long. I'm just going to scroll us down, and then this is going to be it. Okay, 4/5, negative 3 over 2, we have x and y. And now here's z. Which will do the same thing to replace z with the constants. And d we already found right away, which was 10. So here's d sub z. We'll obviously have our x coefficients. We will have our y coefficients, but then those z's are gone, and we have 1, 0, 2. And once again, minor 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So taking out row 1, column 1, taking out row 1, column 2, and row 1, column 3. First minor is 0. Second one is 4. Third one's negative 8. We are so close. Negative 1 times 0 plus 2 times, of course, negative 4 plus 1 times negative 8, which would basically be negative 8 minus negative 8. So d sub z is negative 16. Reduce that, and we would have negative 8 over 5, and can you believe it? We did it. Okay? That's Cramer's rule. It's long, it's not super efficient, but especially compared to the row operations, it is relatively simple.